Hi. Well, it was lovely to catch up with you all again today. Thank you for coming along. It was so nice to be able to talk to you about your business plans. I loved that we did a little bit of business bingo card. That was, quite good fun. Kind of just to get you thinking about the market research, competitor research, your target audience, all of these elements which are so important when it comes to setting up a business. Now, last week it was the idea, was it an idea or are we still very much early stages? And this week, it was really about what would you do with that idea? When it comes to running a business, you really need to put the foundations in place. And yeah, you wouldn't go on holiday and not have an idea which airport to go to or which hotel you were going to, and which clothes to take with you. So, like running a business, you really want to get your head around every single part of it. So one of the things that I spent a little bit of time talking about today was SMART goals. Now, how can we get to where we want to go if we don't know what it is that we want to achieve? So be very, very clear about those. And as you will see in your homework, it's to get you thinking about what this business plan might look like. If you can, it would be great if you could also have a think about that 6 month timeline. Would it be nice to have maybe one customer in 6 months' time? Or would it be nice to have maybe, I don't know, maybe 100 followers on Facebook in 6 months' time? Whatever that is, it's your goal. And we want to help you to be able to achieve that. So let's start with trying to tackle the business model canvas. Maybe have a think about that 6 month timeline, and then we'll catch up again when I see you in week 6. But if you could upload any homework that you've got, your tasks, if you do get to those and you manage to get them uploaded, that would be great because I will be having a look at those. And then I will see you again in week 6, where we're going to talk about your personal brand. Now, I did touch on that very, very briefly today, and the importance of the brand, doing a little bit of work around that before you start your marketing. Week 6 is about you and your personal brand. But I think to get your head around that, you really, really do need to understand what a brand is. So there's brands all around us. Apparently, depending on where you get your information from, some people say that there's 6,000 brands around us. Every day, some we see, some we don't. But actually, what I want you to start thinking about is, you know, what makes a brand special? What makes it unique? What makes it memorable? How do brands build these loyalty, loyal customers? And I think what would be quite interesting, I touched briefly last week on the whole Brooklyn Beckham family feud that's taking place at the moment. And I think it's going to be a really interesting one to watch as it unfolds because both families, the Pelts and the Beckhams, are really, really careful about their brand and protecting it. And brands are worth thousands and millions. Well, actually, the Pelts brand, 2 billion, and the Beckham brand 500 million. So these brands are worth a lot of money, and people and companies want to protect them as much as possible. So what I wanted you to do is have a little bit of a think about what brands you like and dislike and what your personal brand might look like. And one of the things that I also wanted to do is I'm going to send you a video link, and it's a link from a video that a brand guru um, put together, and it's about the meaning of the logo. I love this video. It's really great, actually. And one of the reasons that I like it is because Michael Beirut talks about the meaning of the logo. So in actual fact, it's the DNA. So yes, the Nike swoosh is important and the identity of a brand to distinguish it between other brands. But actually, it's always going to be that meaning that you pour into it, which is quite important. So actually, very important. So check out that video. We're going to chat about that in week 6. But you'll see one of the things that I find really fascinating that, that swoosh was designed 55 years ago by a 28-year-old graphic designer, Carolyn Davidson. And I think, obviously she got $35 for it, but I think she's been well looked after since. But actually the brand has evolved over the years, but not so much the values, not so much the meaning of Nike and what it stands for, which is about innovation and being dynamic, and everyone's an athlete, so that hasn't really changed much, and neither has the swoosh itself. So check that out. It's a brilliant video. It's called The Meaning of the Logo. You're going to get the link to that. um get stuck in to the tasks that you've been given. Even if you just make a start on the business model canvas and that timeline, even just a couple of goals, it's that one step forward, isn't it? So hopefully, you'll be able to crack on with that. Any issues, get in touch with Emma, and Emma can easily, drop me a line, and then I will really, really look forward to seeing you in week 6. Take care for now and all the best.